What's up, Hoop fans? Welcome to 76Q1, the most entertaining hour-ish of basketball banter you'll hear each week. I am your host, David, a Boston Celtics fan, joining us wearing his team colors. I don't need to clown on him anymore because his team's doing that for him. Lamar, our Lakers fan, is joining us.
I'm a loyal fan. Leave me alone, man.
I was thinking of joining, so I started saying Jamal is what I started to say.
Leave me alone.
Also joining us in his New Balance United States,
Umbra.
Okay, my bad. Jeremy, our Mavericks fan, is joining us. We have got a packed show.
Dude.
I don't feel like, let's get into it. With our recent news in the first quarter, Tom Thibadeau gone from Minnesota.
About time.
I mean, we both.
About
All right,
I
next
think we all
topic.
called it.
No.
I think we all
About
called
time.
it. I mean, yeah, it just wasn't a good fit.
Let's just call this what it is. He should no longer be a head coach.
He should be a defensive coach again.
He should be a defensive.
He should be a defensive
top-notch assistant coach.
Now,
period.
We say that. But Cliff, I know it's a different sport, but Cliff Kingsbury was just hired as the Arizona Cardinals head coach when he should be the offensive coordinator at USC.
You're right.
Someone
You're
is
right.
going to
Somebody
hire
might
Tom
give it-
Thibodeau.
I ain't mad at him.
Unbelievable. You're right. You're right.
Someone is going to hire Tom
maybe,
Thibodeau.
Like Cleveland, Atlanta, those bad.
You're not wrong.
Teams.
You're not wrong.
I mean,
But because the thing with Thibodeau is that I guess he works well with young players, so those two teams might be good for him. I don't know. But
we called it. Let's just call it.
Ryan Saunders, we talked about this in one of our review videos, but that's such a great story.
Yeah,
having him in Minnesota, eventually, taking over for Flip. Yeah. And the players seem to be responding well to him so far. So I mean,
so far, but it's going to be a long season.
Right. We'll obviously see how that goes.
It was his first game, and obviously who he is, who his dad was.
Right.
It brought a lot of emotion into it, but it remains to be seen. So we'll see.
So the only other topic that's really recent newsworthy is Jimmy Butler challenging Coach Brett Brown, challenging his role. And what do y'all think? What are your reactions to that?
Okay, here's my thing. They're fourth right now in the East.
Correct.
In front of the Boston Celtics. But they're fourth in the East. And so I think in his brain, he thinks that the 76ers should still be better than what they are, which I agree with him. However, his thing is Brett Brown asked him, apparently, according to sources, asked him one day what he thought about the offense, right? Mm-hmm. And so how he thought the offense could get better. Well, he was saying, why don't you put me in the pick and roll more with Embiid? But the problem people are saying is Embiid doesn't like to roll to the basket. He likes to pop because he likes to get the ball and then take people on the dribble or face up and shoot, which he's really good at. But in order, I think, for the team to be more successful, he needs to be more of a roller to the basket player, which I don't know if he's really down for.
But shouldn't he be good at that? It's Joel Embiid.
I agree, but I'm just saying, if you watch him play, his thing is when he gets space, I mean, he only needs like this much of space, and he's taking that and he's coming in your chest, and he's getting two every time.
Right.
Do you think it's with Embiid? Do you think it's his history of injuries? Like he doesn't want to go there. I guess go down, to no man's land, quote unquote.
But he still takes people off the dribble and goes into the block.
That's
so
true.
I don't know.
That was just a question.
But I'm just saying, when I watch him, I've seen it. He does not. Whenever he sets pick, he is going to pop every single time.
Yep, that's true.
So, for me, I think it was a matter of time until something like this happened. I don't know if you guys agree. I knew that something like this, where Jimmy Butler didn't like his situation, would come up, right? I knew it was going to happen.
He's not wrong, though.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's wrong.
Yeah.
I'm saying that it was a matter of time.
And it is, look who his coach is, too, though, Brett Brown.
Right. So, not a good coach. Plus, doesn't that make them more dangerous? Especially with Ben Simmons not being able to shoot the ball very efficiently, that Embiid rolls to the basket while the other players go out to the three-point line?
I'm not saying that Jimmy Butler's suggestion is like a bad thing for them. I'm saying that him challenging and this becoming the fact that it's news that they had a difficult conversation, Jimmy Butler's just going from one team to another and just getting mad at people.
Let me ask you this, and I'll leave this alone. When has Jimmy Butler ever had a coach like that he respects, a coach that demands that excellence from him and that he follows the coach no matter what? When has he ever had that coach?
I'm gonna what you're asking me is when has he ever had a good coach?
Right.
You're not asking me when has he ever respected a coach, because he's never shown respect to a
Agreed.
coach.
Agreed. I'm just saying.
What you're asking is, has he ever had a coach that deserves that respect?
Right.
That's what you're asking.
This is the NBA. It's big boy. This is big boy basketball.
When you set it up that way, but how many players in the NBA play for not good coaches that will respect them? Like, look at Miami Heat. I'm playing. I'm kidding. So anyway, what I'm saying,
too long for show.
What I'm saying is that Jimmy Butler got traded to a team with the best center in the NBA and the best playmaker in the NBA, right?
Gotcha.
So those two are supposed to be like, that was supposed to be a thing, and it's not working. And so Jimmy Butler is mad already. Like what?
They're still fourth in the East. There's still time, but
they're considered the fifth best team in the East. I understand where their record sits, but they are considered the fifth best team in the East, and that's probably where his frustration comes from. Because when they face up against the Celtics on Christmas Day, the Celtics say, "Merry Christmas, here's your L."
Serving them hot L's.
Mm-hmm.
Denver coach, I told you, serving them hot L's.
So anyway, it's a situation to watch. I think Jimmy Butler and Ben Simmons' relationship, I want to know what that's like. I don't know if he likes Ben Simmons.
We'll see.
I've heard so many trade scenarios where one of those two leaves.
I've heard him wanting to go to Clippers. Him and Kawhi. I've heard that.
Simmons?
Yeah. I've heard
Butler.
him and Butler. I've heard that rumor. Yeah.
But Butler leaving, would be the most logical thing. But then it would just be the.
They're too much of the same player to me. They need to be different. That's what
I'm thinking.
They're too much of the same.
Like, them two together is like.
I don't see that working together.
Offensively, now defensively, they can put the clamps.
Defense, yes,
but offensively, it's like they're the same type player.
I heard this on the radio. What if Jimmy Butler and Bradley Beal switched places? How much better would the 76ers be? I think Bradley Beal is the correct player to fit that spot.
That would be
because then Ben Simmons can have the ball, Joel Embiid can have the ball whenever they want, and they know that Bradley Beal is okay with being without the ball because he's played with John Wall. And when he gets the ball, they know it's going to go in.
Plus, he's a better off the ball player. He can run off screens. He's just good.
What about defensively? I don't really follow Bradley Beal as far as that goes.
Jimmy Butler is the better defensive player, but Bradley Beal is no joke of a two-way player. He can play defense. He can play defense. Again, Jimmy Butler is better.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler is the better player between the two. Yeah. But I think Bradley Beal in that position, I think that team is much better.
I agree. I hear you.
Now I'm trying to think about who could you put in place of Ben Simmons to make that team work. You would need a real point guard is also...
Stop it.
I'm not...
Oh, I was like, I thought that was a diss too.
All I mean is a point guard that is not afraid to shoot.
That's fair.
You need a point guard that's not afraid to shoot, but that is also maybe not very ball dominant, so that they can share with Jimmy Butler.
That's hard in today's time, though, where these guys that are officially ball dominant are your point guards of your team, really.
So the consensus is that Jimmy Butler is the issue.
No. I think Brett Brown is the issue.
Yeah, Brett Brown is the issue.
I don't think he's a good coach.
Jimmy Butler said
but then how come we can say that you switch Bradley Beal and Jimmy Butler and that team's immediately better?
Well, that's just sometimes styles make a better, and players but attributes or what they're best at make teams better. That's not a diss to Jimmy Butler. I think Brett Brown is such a bad coach that he has these pieces and he cannot get this to work. Man, that's what I think.
What makes you think Brett Brown's a bad coach? Is it the playoff series from last year?
Can we move to that topic?
Okay, well, anyway, I tried. That is our recent news for this week. We'll hopefully have a whole lot more. There wasn't very much news this week.
Let's move on to the next topic.
But these next few topics are going to be pretty nice. So, moving into our second quarter, we're going to talk about the biggest question marks in each conference. Okay, that was backwards because you're on camera, but there you go. The biggest question marks in each conference. Starting in the West, the Houston Rockets.